Welcome to the Cultivate Beauty podcast. I am your host, Kelly Torrance, and this is a show where we come together and have some honest conversations about what it's really like to work, grow, thrive, and survive in the beauty industry. My guests and topics are all people and things related to what's happening right now in our salons, behind the chair, in the treatment room, in our beauty schools, in our training facilities, at a state board level, and beyond. I'm going to be covering all scopes of beauty. So if you're ready to help me cultivate a fun-loving, passionate group of informed professionals, then please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how to set your schedule so that you don't experience burnout and you still have time for your personal life and scheduling some me time. I know it's difficult, especially in the beginning. As somebody who's been in this industry for a really long time, I still struggle with that personal business life balance, but I've gotten a lot better, and I want to kind of share how I've gotten here. In the beginning, it's really difficult when you're starting your career because it's all about the hustle and the grind to build a clientele, get the experience, build your portfolio, and really get your name out there. So it's not uncommon for newbies to be working 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., no days off, skipping lunch meals. I get it. But the burnout it affects more than just your mental. It also affects your physical in both your work, the service you provide, your customer service, your business overall, but it also affects you at home and your personal life. It affects your relationships. It affects the time you get with your kids or your partner or the time you get to see your parents and your friends. So it's really important to start making healthy habits in your schedule as soon as possible and setting those boundaries and respecting them for yourself. Now, there was a time pre-2020, I was working like crazy. And when I say working, I mean, I was seeing clients like crazy because when you own a business, you're working 24/7. So I am talking about seeing clients and providing services. I was working like crazy. 5-6 days a week from 8 a.m. sometimes till 8 p.m., working 12-hour days really is kind of the quick path to burnout. And I felt burnout a lot. My services would lack. The connections I was making with my clients sucked. For any first-time new client that I got while I was experiencing burnout, I apologize because that wasn't me. That was just Robot Kelly doing what needed to be done to get to the day. And I never want my clients to feel like they're just another body through the door to provide a service for. I genuinely love what I do. I am obsessed with what I do, and I have been for many, many years. And I want every client to feel that. But when I'm burnt out, it's the last thing you're going to notice is my love and passion for what I do. It's just going to be Robot Kelly who's zoned out, just doing the thing, having really stupid, crappy, go nowhere conversations just to keep it from being awkward. And I do not want that. During this time, I would allow clients to book like 6 months in advance. Now, if you're a mom with kids, you know that crap happens all the time. And it's always so inconvenient. Kids get sick. All of a sudden, there's an email that there's an assembly and your kid's getting an award, or hey, there's a field trip, want to be a volunteer, or there's a carnival, or there's a game, or there's a practice, or stuff always comes up last minute when it comes to being a mom. And it was really sucky when I'm booked out 6 months in advance. Something comes up. I'm already working 5 or 6 days a week, 8 to 12 hours a day. And then I needed to move a full day's worth of clients, or even a half day's worth of clients, or even just one client so I could be off in time to go to something. I had nowhere to move them. And so I would have to sacrifice my one day off or my only lunch break to get that client in. And it's not fair to the client, but to have to like move them months and months in advance, I felt. And so I would sacrifice my day off or a lunch break, or I would stay an extra hour late, even though I knew it meant I was working a 12-hour day, just so that I could still do my mom thing or my personal life thing and maintain my clients. And I always hated when that happened. I still hate when I have to move clients around because it's something that I need done. But when you don't have anywhere to put them other than something 3 months out, like you're going to lose that client. And I know that there have been clients that that has happened to, and I've never seen them again. And it sucks, but I get it. As somebody who also gets services done and is a client, I totally get it. So I had to try and figure out how to work my schedule so that I had more balance, right? And this balance thing, nobody's got it perfected because life is crazy and things happen all the time, but we can do things to be better at that balance. And one of the things that I did was I implemented online scheduling. I wish I would have done it sooner. I've probably been offering online scheduling now for a few years now, right? But it helped so much in the way of I wasn't having clients call and text me at all hours of the night or early in the morning or on my days off. I wasn't getting social media notifications on my phone at all hours. It helped streamline a lot of that. And I've had so many clients tell me how convenient it is to have an online system because they don't feel like they're bothering me about finding an appointment. They could go online, they can see what's available, they can compare it to their schedules, and it's super easy peasy and streamlined for them. So I highly recommend, no matter what stage of business you're in, get some online scheduling. It's going to take that weight off your shoulders and make that part. Now, there will be times where you offer online scheduling and clients are still going to prefer to call or stop by and book. 100% totally fine. But I would say 95% of my client base utilizes online scheduling, and it makes things so much easier on both ends. So that was one thing that I implemented that made a huge difference right off the bat. The second thing that I've done is my online scheduling system can let you choose how far out to let your clients schedule. So I have mine set so my clients can book out 45 days in advance. Now, if you call or come by the shop, we can look at the schedule 60 days in advance, but online it's 45 days. And the reason why I did that was so that I could pre-plan for time off, for family vacations, to just have time off, to be home, to be mom, to be wife, to be friend, to be daughter, to be sister, to be cousin, to enjoy my own hobbies, my dogs. And I've gotten myself in the habit now so that the middle of every month, I am working on 2 months out. So for example, we're in June, right? So mid-June, I open up August schedule. So I will take my kids' school calendar, their sports calendar. My oldest was in marching band for high school, so I would take the marching band schedule. I would look at my calendar of birthdays, and I would put all of that into my work schedule before opening it up to my clients. If I ever have a client who, let's say they wanted to schedule for September, I will keep a little list. Maybe there's a wedding they're going to, and so they want to make sure they get in my schedule for a brow wax and lashes before they go off to this wedding. Well, what I'll do is come mid-July, I will contact those September clients first before I open it up to the public and let people schedule online. And just implementing those couple of things has helped me avoid burnout to the point, like, I don't remember the last time I felt burnout, which is amazing because it's so easy to get burned out. Doing the online scheduling, setting it up so that people can only book 45 days to 60 days in advance, and getting myself in the habit to every mid-month prepping and opening 2 months out for clients. and keeping that rotation. Holiday time, beginning of every year, I go ahead and jump straight to the holiday calendar and block off holiday stuff because I usually know school vacation times and all of that way in advance. I go ahead and just block that off while I can. But by doing that, it has made that balance a little bit easier for me, pre-planning time off. Even if I don't schedule a trip, I look forward to just knowing I've got 4 days off coming to do whatever the heck I want. Stay in bed, do absolutely nothing, maybe go get my hair and nails done, schedule a massage. Like I have that pre-blocked off and good to go for myself. Another thing that I have done that did take some time to get to this point because I take clients during the week and I was giving up my weekends so that, or I'm sorry, blocking off my weekends when I had it for family time. Well, by working, and again, when I say working, I'm taking clients, by taking clients Monday through Friday from 8 to 6 p.m., still didn't leave me a lot of wiggle room if a client needed to reschedule or I needed to reschedule somebody for whatever reason. So what I started to do was take 1 half day a week. So that means I was taking clients Tuesday through Friday from 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. But I would only take clients on Mondays from 9 until 1. I'd take a little lunch break and then I'd have a few hours after lunch as kind of a cushion in case something came up and I needed to move somebody around or a client needed to be moved around. I had nowhere else to put them. I always knew that I had Monday afternoons open. And that helped me preserve my weekends for whatever the heck I wanted. Respecting that boundary for myself to give me that me time was really hard in the beginning, but I got there and I'm here now. And I am now to the point where I take clients Tuesday, Thursday, Friday full days, and Wednesday mornings. I now utilize Monday and Wednesday for other aspects of my business, including the podcast. And then I've still got weekends for family time, or if I decide to do a walk-in day or something else, like I've got the weekends to do those things. Finding that balance is a constant struggle. And when you're self-employed, it's something that I think people talk about, but until they experience actual burnout, they don't really understand how important it is to make those boundaries and respect those boundaries for yourself. Because I'm telling you, when you hit true burnout, it is ugly and it's bad. And it will lead you to having to take days off and screw up your schedule and move clients around just so that you can kind of get out of that mental fog and heal your body and your mind so that you can get back to doing what you love to do. And I think that experiencing burnout and not being able to tell people no and respecting those boundaries turns a lot of people off. Even when they're so passionate and they love what they do, that side of the business can really cause somebody to stop loving what they love to do. When really, if they just kind of put their foot down a little firmer and made a schedule that actually worked for them, they would probably still be doing what they love to do. I know that when you get into business, you always put your client first. And that doesn't change. Like a good business person, a good service provider is always going to put their clients first. But the more you do this and the more you feel out what your boundaries are and where those are, the more you realize that it's about putting your client first after yourself and your health, if that makes sense. So really, your number one concern when creating your schedule should be you and your health, both mentally and physically. Because without those, your business is going to suffer. And if you're worried about having a schedule that's too limited, however am I going to build a clientele if I don't work every weekend? How am I going to build a clientele if I don't work evenings? How am I going to build a clientele if I don't give up my lunches to squeeze people in? The thing that is so amazing about this industry is that the clients that are meant for you will find you. And as much as I would love to take every client who wants to come to see me, if our schedules don't mesh, I can't sacrifice myself to provide the service because that service is going to lack. The experience I provide my client is going to lack, and they're not going to get the best version of me and the service. And I think that the sooner you realize that that's the truth for pretty much everyone in our industry, the sooner you are going to work on finding a schedule that works for you, the sooner you're going to implement things like online scheduling to streamline that so that you're not constantly being woken up or getting tons of notifications and texts and calls on your phone. It's just all going to lead to a happier, healthier you. And that is going to lead to a healthier work and personal life balance that we're all striving to find. So if you have any tips on ways that you have found balance between being an entrepreneur, self-employed person and your personal life, please share them. It might help somebody else who's watching this podcast or watching this video. And if you have any funny little stories you'd like to share about a burnout experience or taking on too much at one time, please share those, because that's how we connect and grow community, is by relating to one another and sharing our real stories. So thank you guys so much for joining this episode, and we will see you in the next one.